Hello, we're looking at the Baker Illustrated Guide to the Bible and looking at the book of Joel. We talk about the book of Joel and we look at the setting, and unfortunately, the setting is unknown. We're not really sure. The book does not tie it to any kings as other books do, so there's no connection there. It also doesn't mention any specific historical event for us to tie it to and say, okay, it's between this time period. But when scholars have looked at this, and people more intelligent than I, and they've started looking through it all, they believe that it's from the time period somewhere before either the Assyrian invasion of Israel in 722 BC or the Babylonian invasion of Judah in 587 BC. And again, that's not sure, but before one of the invasions is what they believe, okay? And the message of Joel basically talks about the people of Israel have broken the covenant agreement in Deuteronomy. Okay, it goes back to Deuteronomy and talks about, look, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is the commitment that you made to God and that your people have made to God, and you've broken it. And it doesn't really give a lot of details as to how they broke it, but jumps straight into punishment. Like, you broke it, now let's tell you what's going to happen and what your punishment is. Okay? And Joel talks about there's going to be a terrible locust plague that comes on the land as God's judgment. And this, again, the scholars believe is kind of a analogy, and it talks about this plague being a metaphor for a pending invasion, and that's why they tie it back to those possible two invasions, okay? The outline of the book of Joel says, first, there's judgment through locust invasions and calls for repentance. And then there's the giving of God's Spirit to all his people in judgment on the nations, okay? Finally, in page 73, it says, Joel reminds us that sin is very serious and that God's wrath and judgment are a reality that only a fool ignores. On the other hand, the good news of the Bible is that everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Turning to God and trusting in Jesus Christ will save us from judgment. In addition, one of the central promises of the Old Testament is the promise of God's presence. I will dwell among them, it says in Exodus, right? A reality experienced through his residence is in the tabernacle and then in the temple. However, because of their sin and disobedience, the Israelites lose the empowering presence of God. In the future, Joel proclaims, all God's people will enjoy the power and comfort of God's presence in a new and better way, through his indwelling Spirit. This promise is fulfilled in the New Testament, and all those who believe in Jesus Christ experience the power and comfort of the presence of God in their lives because the Spirit of God dwells within them.